Hey guys, I had a viewer recently send me some emails. We kind of had an email conversation going on about an issue that they've been having with the Valsalva maneuver, and they sent me an article that Frank Campos wrote in the International Trumpet Guild Journal. And I wanted to share bits of that article plus just some of my thoughts on the Valsalva maneuver. Um, if you don't know what that is, I'll kind of give you a quick rundown. So the Valsalva maneuver is essentially the closing of the throat that happens largely involuntarily, and it happens if you're picking up something heavy. So if you're asked to help move a couch or a refrigerator, as you bend to pick it up or lift it, you kind of get that feeling and it helps create compression and strengthens your core as you're lifting something heavy. You also notice it if you're pooping and you're constipated. you'll notice that's a lovely thought. But that'll happen then too. Blocks off here and allows you to squeeze your muscles and kind of squeeze down. Unfortunately, it also often happens in playing the trumpet, and we don't need that to happen when we play the trumpet, but yet it's a very common occurrence for many, many people, myself included. It's not really a problem I have anymore, but I've intermittently, every once in a while, it'll sneak back in. But definitely it's something I felt like I struggled with for years and years and years trying to solve. And you'll know that this is you if you, either just sometimes just feel like your throat's really restricted, you feel like you can't get the air out, like you're just really backed up, and it feels like the backup is kind of coming from the throat here. You also can tell that you're having this issue if you are humming or singing, or you hear any kind of grunting while you're playing, assuming you're not doing those things on purpose, of course, for a sound effect or something. But so any of those kind of involuntary things, that will trigger that. And of course, the problem with it, in addition to just being uncomfortable, there can be some long-term health detriments to it. But more than anything, it reduces essentially the airflow that comes through our lips, which reduces our sound, our efficiency, our ease of playing. So it's a really, really terrible habit. But the good news is it is a habit, and you can fix it, but it will take some time. So I want to share something from this article of what they recommended. And the downside to trying to fix it is it's not one of those things you can fix by just relaxing your throat. So if you're an amateur player or a younger player, like high school or something like that, and you've had this problem, or you've seen someone else have this problem, you've probably been told that, or you maybe even given that advice. You just need to relax your throat. That's not really a thing we can do, especially while we're in the middle of feeling that Valsalva maneuver effect. It's too late by that point. I think one of the causes for this is blowing the trumpet. Now, I know that you're going to be like, wait a minute. Obviously, we're talking about this happens when we play the trumpet. I'm not talking about playing the trumpet. I'm talking about when you blow the trumpet. If your approach to playing the trumpet is you take air in, and then you think of blowing it, like you're trying to blow out candles on a cake or something, that exhalation is largely coming from this kind of upper chest and throat area. And there is restriction there. And we can feel as I blow harder, I can feel that is starting to create resistance and restriction. And you can definitely tell once I start to get low on air. You can hear that happening. Now, I'm kind of making that grunt sound happening just so that you can hear it. But I'm only doing that by activating my vocal cords. That compression, that tightening is already happening. So if we don't blow the trumpet, then what do we do? Great question. All we do is we take air in, and that air intake should largely be silent. Shouldn't have much more noise to it than anything else. And then we release the air. And if you need to compress the air, you're compressing with the muscles that are below here, okay? So we're just releasing that way. All of this, we're not using this to play at all. One of the ways I like to do that, if I take a nice breath in, I'll stop the air with my tongue, squeeze from below, and then move the tongue, and that feeling of airflow is essentially the feeling we're looking for. But there's a great exercise in this article, and I think I can link to the article. If I get in trouble with that, I'll remove it, but I'll try to send you. I'll try to put the link in the description. But one of James Campos's or Frank Campos, who wrote this thing? Yeah, one of Frank Campos's favorite exercises. He calls it the timed panting, which this is a great exercise. I wish I had known about this years ago. And so with this, you basically just pant like a dog. So just try that. And for at first, see if you can do it for like 30 seconds. And the idea is that you're going to do this and build this up. You want to do this several times a day and build it up where you can do it for several minutes. And he recommends doing this before you play to kind of get that feeling. So I want you to try that with me. Now, when doing that, what do you notice? You're going to notice that when you are doing that panting, your throat here is completely passive. It's just open, and you're not using it to do anything. Your intercostal muscles and the muscles from around your abdomen, you'll notice those, and your side muscles and back, those are acting like bellows. They're just doing this. I'm not doing anything here. Like this, my head could be off and this would work, right? Maybe. So there's nothing, no restriction here. This is just open. And that's a great exercise to get that feeling of like, oh yeah, because I know for me, when I've had that feeling of that Valsalva effect kicking in, it's because I'm blowing. And there's all this restriction and compression up top. We don't want any of that. All this stays relaxed. Once you get that feeling, now start to close your lips. You want that same feeling through those closed lips. I don't have a mouthpiece handy. That would be great. But then you can do the same thing through a mouthpiece. And you want that same feeling of this passiveness here, that nothing's happening here. And it's just the bellows of the muscles around your stomach that are making that happen. Okay? Give that a shot if this is an issue you're having. Even if it's not an issue you aren't having, this is a good exercise to kind of warm up your breathing mechanism. And it's a great way to do for part of your warm-up, for part of your pre-warm-up before you start playing your instrument. Just get that air moving and stuff like that. I think this is fantastic. If you want to read more about it, he has another exercise in here from Bud Brisbois. Check the link in the comments. Like I said, I'm going to try to either find, if it's a public link, I'll find it. If not, I'll put it on Drive and share it with you guys. Okay? Hope you're well, and hope this helps. Bye.